Hello, beautiful women. I hope everyone is having a spectacular day. I am still in my gym clothes. I went to the gym this morning, obviously, got home, had a call, and now we are here, and I am yet to shower and get dressed. But that is the beauty of, I guess, working from home. So today I wanted to chat about how we can be more present in motherhood and life, really, and also why it's so challenging. So I wanted to speak to that piece first. So why is it actually challenging to be present in life and to be present with your children and motherhood? And it may seem simple, but it is complicated in many ways. But the short answer is we live so much in our heads, right? We operate in our heads due to the hypermasculine society that we live in, which is all about the go, the hustle, the get things done, the ticking off of the to-do lists, you name it. You know what I mean, though. The achievement, like I've got to get this done, the productivity. And a lot of the time our worth is tied, or we're conditioned to believe that our worth is tied to our productivity. So to slow down and to be in the present moment can feel really challenging, not just because we're overthinking and have all the tabs open in our brain, but because in our body it feels uncomfortable. It feels uncomfortable to slow down, to be in the now, to just be, because of how the majority of our nervous systems have been wired. And that then means that to be present with our children when we're thinking about the different things that we quote unquote should or could be doing around the house, why it can feel really awkward, uncomfortable, challenging, you name the word. So then when we're with our children, we're not being present because we're thinking about all the things that we have to do, or we're just not even giving ourselves that opportunity to play with our kids and to be in the moment with them because we're busy doing the 1,000 other things that we could be doing. And I get it, because there is always something that we can be doing around the house, right? There is always something we can be cleaning and tidying and folding and washing. And it's always going to be there, right? So it can be hard, but if we can start to let go of the shoulds and start to let go of the never-ending to-do list and things that we need to get done, and start to be more present in the moment with our kids, it makes such a huge difference. It helps us to connect more with our kids. It helps us to feel more connected with ourselves as well. So that is kind of in a nutshell why it is challenging, because of how we're wired, how we're conditioned, how we're programmed. And how do we actually change that or start to make changes? And look, it is a slow process to rewire our nervous system. It's not something that just happens overnight. And I've been doing a lot of this work for, a good couple of years, and I still have moments where I find it challenging. I run a business. I run 2 businesses. I'm a single mom. I have things that I love to do outside of being a mum. I have all the responsibilities that we all have in the household, and then the mental load of motherhood and all the other things. So I get it. It can be so hard. So I guess I'll speak to 2 things around what we can actually do to be more present and to start to feel more comfortable being in the present moment. And really the first thing is around mindfulness. And it might seem simplistic, but it's bringing more of that awareness to when you can be, or when you are playing with your kids, for example, noticing and being aware that, and if you're new to this, expecting that your mind is going to wander. You're going to start to think of the dinner that needs to be prepped, right? So having that awareness and understanding that you are going to have those thoughts and experience that. But even though you're going to be experiencing that, can you still bring yourself back to the present? So through mindfulness. So it could be, depending on what you're doing, but what is my child playing with? So using those external senses. So sight, what are they playing with? What are the colors? What are the shapes? What are the textures? So that's probably more touch, but when you're playing with things, what are the textures? So getting those different senses working. What can I hear? What else is there? What are the smells that are around? So bringing your mind back to those senses, and you don't have to do all of them, but my kids love cars, for example. So when I'm playing with the cars, what type of car is this? And you might even ask your kid these questions so that you're still engaging in that dialogue with them and that playfulness with them. But you're bringing your attention and your mind to the present moment. What is actually happening here? And when we bring our mind back to the present, back to our immediate environment, our surroundings, and engage our senses and actually list and label what is happening in our environment, that is bringing your awareness and bringing your mind into the present moment. And that is, it's not going to stop. It's not going to mean that those to-do lists aren't going to be there, but it's helping to rewire your brain and shift your thoughts and your mind into the now, rather than thinking of the future and what I need to do and what I should or could be doing, and all of those thoughts that we all have, right? So mindfulness is such a huge thing that we can all be mindful of. And then secondly, and this is something you may have heard me speak to before, is finding magic in the mundane moments. So finding magic, and this is not just necessarily when you are with your kids and playing with your kids, but in motherhood, like there are so many things we have to do, all these responsibilities, adulting things that, look, they're not overly fun, right? But they're part of our role as adults, as mothers. So whether that's the laundry, whether that's the cooking, whether that's the cleaning toilets, whatever it is, how can we find those glimmers and those magical moments within those more mundane things that we have to do? And again, that can be bringing your senses into the picture. That can be thinking about the texture of what I'm holding, the dishcloth, the smells. Like I use a lot of essential oils in my cleaning. So the smell of the essential oil while I'm cleaning the basin. And then it's also, how can I bring magic through maybe adding some things that are going to engage my senses? So music is one of those things that I use. I put on my music. I put my headphones on when I'm vacuuming and mopping, or I just blast it on the speaker. And I might move my body while I'm doing that in a way. Of course, I'm moving when I'm vacuuming that, but I might, make it a bit more fun and dancing. And I do this in the kitchen a lot when I'm cooking as well. I'll put on music and I'll sing and I'll dance while I am engaging in those more mundane things. I mean, you might like cooking. I don't mind it. Some days it feels a bit of a chore, but more those things that feel really like mundane, right? And monotonous. So bringing, music, bringing some movement, all of these things that are bringing your awareness back into the present moment, not thinking about, oh God, I can't wait for this to be over. Oh no, well after this I need to, then, oh God, I've got to clean up everything. Oh, look at the mess, and just out spiraling and thinking about the future or just hating on what you're actually doing. So things that are going to firstly bring your mind into the present moment, so engaging those external senses that we all have, those 5 senses, and then finding magic in the mundane and bringing external things that are going to, again, engage those external senses and bring a little bit more playfulness and fun and joy into what you are doing, and that will also help you to ground more into the present moment as well. And often my kids will join in. If I'm cooking dinner and there's music on, they'll be just dancing around as well. So it's still this beautiful way that we can connect with our children while we're doing it. Not all things. I usually do the vacuuming and mopping when they're not here, but those things that are still able to support us in connecting with our kids, bringing a bit more lightness and fun into those moments and bringing us back into the present. So I'm keeping it short and sharp today. I'm going to leave it at that, but I'd love to hear any takeaways or things that resonated with you from what I spoke to